Yeah, Lake Tahoe has seen quite the surge lately with remote workers. So a lot of people are doing long-term Airbnbs, and they will be there for a month, 2 months at a time. So,
wow.
yeah. Yeah. Early on, they kind of discourage people from going up there because, you don't have that many grocery stores per se. You don't have the necessities that they don't want people to. They want those to be available for the locals. So they didn't want
Okay.
a bunch of families to come up there and take everything off the shelves, and then the locals have nothing. So
right, that makes sense.
yeah. Yep. So we have a place up in Lake Tahoe that we have access to 5 weeks a year. We have 9 other partners, and so it's a 3-bedroom condo. And so every 9 weeks we get a week. And so obviously last year we had our time to go up there, and we'd always bring up our stuff with us. So.
Well, if I go to Lake Tahoe, I'll have to contact you for all the ins and outs of where to go and when.
Yeah, it's fun. The rafting is fun, especially with young kids. It's a very slow moving river, and it's about 4 or 5 miles, and you jump off wherever you can, and you have a picnic, and then you get back on and you go a little farther, and you stop and you let the kids swim, and yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. Very slow moving river. Trust me.
Okay. That's not a bad thing.
No. And so we had some friends that were really nervous about, there's rapids. And I said, there's no rapids. Like there's more rapids in your bathtub than there are on this thing. So I guess we could probably start.
All right, I'll go ahead and you got 16 people waiting.
Okay, excellent.
All right, here you go. You ready?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks for participating today. My name is Joe Sherratt. I am the National Sales Manager for Ertx Inlet Protection products. I got a thumbs up over there in the corner, which is great. Let me get my big screen back here. Okay. So today what we're going to do, I just want to kind of go over some of our products that we have, primarily our inlet protection. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the company, Ertec Environmental Systems. And then what we'll do is we'll jump into a little presentation of our products. And then what we're going to do after that is if there's any questions that anybody has, we'll answer those comments, questions. And then what we'll do after that, there'll be a loop of the same presentation that I just went through. So without further ado, we'll kind of get in there. Looks like everybody's got it on mute, which is great. Let me go ahead and get this going. So Ertec Environmental Systems is based in Northern California. We've been a company since 2004. We specialize in erosion and sediment control products alternatives. So we manufacture a lot of, for example, we have what's called an S fence, which is a silt fence alternative. We have a pro wattle, which is considered a straw wattle alternative. You can reuse all of our products. For example, the items you're looking at here these are our drain inlet protection products. They are all above ground. They are reusable. They are durable, easy maintenance. And what you'll see is as we progress through this, you'll see that easy maintenance, easy installation, easy removal. So, and doing the job. So what we'll do, we will get going here. Go back. Okay, so we've got quite a few products here. We're going to go through. We're going to start going over just different types. All of our inlet protection is above ground. We have a variety of different applications that we can go through. We're going to go through our combo guard, which is the one on the far left, which is going to be a grate and a curb opening. A flat grate, which is what we call it our grate guard. Various sizes there. We have a curb inlet guard, top far right, curb opening. We have a drop guard, which would be your field inlet, which is off to the side of the, typically off the side of the road, anything that's out in a field per se. Our slot guard down on the right, that is used for slot drains. And we work with quite a few, we work with most states in the country. In the state of Minnesota, they've got an interesting setup with a combo guard T down on the bottom. So the curb opening is bigger than the grate. And some of the advantages to using Ertx inlet protection is the speed of installation, the maintenance, because it's very easy. There's no grates that you have to lift up. Safety, so you don't have any fingers, any toes that you're going to drop a grate on, anything like that. The inspection and monitoring, it's very easy to lift it up, do your inspections, do your monitoring, put them back down. The removal, that is another one that's extremely beneficial. The total cost overall, because you're going to reuse our products, life expectancy typically is about 3 to 4 years per unit, depending upon somebody driving over it or burning it or catching it on fire, which sometimes happens. So let me jump into this. So our first one's going to be our curb inlet guard. Standard size, and I can show you guys what they kind of look like. So this is a smaller version of it. You can't really see it too well here today, but you can see it, it's behind me. It's for 75 inches long is our standard size. What it has 2 pins. It'll have 2 pins here, which adjust the height. Standard installation is going to be 2 gravel bags. And in some scenarios, contractors are using adhesive underneath. So it will have a, without the gravel bags. The gravel bags have become, around the country, have become quite an eyesore and a troublesome device because vehicles will drive over them and damage them. And then there's rock all over the place. The 2 holes here are designed for our bypass. The opening is 1/4 inch. The filter inside, which is the dark, you can kind of see it's darker. That is 425 microns. These all of our products are made out of high density polyethylene. So all your local Coke bottles and milk bottles. But these can also be overlapped. So if it's a longer curb opening, so for example, in Georgia, they have much longer curb openings. And so these can be overlapped. In some scenarios, for example, in Arizona, I had a curb opening of 25 feet. So they used about 6 of these. So you can certainly overlap these, and contractors love these because they can put them down and they can just stack them right back into their vehicle. So we can do these in a bundle. A standard bundle is about 25 of these. So that's where contractors love the ability to just throw these in the back of their truck and just keep moving. So, okay, here's the stuff here. This is kind of how it looks in action, if you will. They do have the gravel bags. You'll see everything is collected there. From a maintenance standpoint, we do tell people, you want to clean these out. A flat shovel, a broom, anything like that. Some contractors will take these off. They'll crack them on the ground, clean everything up a little bit, and then they'll put them back in place. So you have quite a few different options for maintenance on these guys. Now we move into our combo guards. Again, grate. We have a grate with in front of a curb opening. We have a variety of sizes for these. Everything from 28 by 28s all the way up to 48 by 30s. We can accommodate pretty much every grate in the country with the combo guards and the grate guards. And then we can also do custom. We have a contractor in New Mexico. They have some really, really big grates. We've gone all the way up to 60 by 60. Now we try to control that a little bit because we don't want it to be bigger than a pallet. Okay, and again, here's the standard installation of a combo guard. You'll see that the filter, the dark part, which is right there, everything from this point forward is open. There's no filter there, and we use that as the bypass. So you have your bypass holes here. This lip is 6 inches tall. And so we want to limit the amount of water that's going to sit there. So we want the water to flow. We want the water to flow there. Typical water is going to come this way, not always this way. So we use this as our bypass. There's a metal rod right here, and that will hold it down a little bit. A lot of contractors, what they're doing now is they're getting rid of the gravel bags and they're using adhesive around the edges, and they're going to use rebar tie wire in 4 spots to hold it in place. Again, from a maintenance standpoint, you are just moving the gravel bags, taking a broom, taking a shovel or rake, cleaning off the debris, allowing the flow to continue. There's no pooling, no ponding, unless, I mean, maintenance, as you probably, most of the people on this call know, the maintenance is such an important factor in your erosion sediment control. So we see horror stories all over the country. I'm sure everybody does, where people just put stuff down and they walk away, and then it's just a mess after that. So.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Is that adhesive that they use? Is it something special purchased from your company, or is it just general adhesive off the shelf?
So what it is, it's a Loctite power grab, and it's an organic product. It can be picked up anywhere, Home Depot, White Cap, HD Supply, those guys all have those. And one thing that's nice about the adhesive is that it stays on the device. It doesn't stay on the ground. That was a big concern of ours, is that the adhesive would, hold on one sec. Is that we want to make sure that the adhesive stays on the product, not on the surface. So here's it's the just Loctite power grab. It can be picked up anywhere.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I've got 2 questions. The first is, does the use of the adhesive reduce the amount of time that you can use the guard?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't inhibit anything like that.
All right. And the second question is, we have a lot more rain and a lot more intense rain events than elsewhere in the country. Is the bypass rate different if you sell something in Georgia versus if you're selling it in Arizona or California?
No, it's the same bypass hole. The only thing that we've had discussions with other parts of the country about making the holes bigger, but we don't necessarily want to make them bigger. What we would do then in certain areas that have really, really large rain events at a specific time, we can actually do more holes. In Minnesota, we did a couple custom where we did 4 holes, 4 bypass holes.
And that would just have to be requested?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we've got a lot of problems during construction phase with stormwater bypassing upgrade inlets and just going to the lowest spot. And then there's so much water concentrated in that spot that it spills over because the bypass rates are just not high enough to deal with
big. Right.
Flashy events we get.
Yeah. There was also discussion about making these square as opposed to circular, which would allow more water to flow through. So So we're testing some of those out now, but they're being tested in California, so we don't necessarily get as much rain as you guys do. So,
All right, thank you.
sure. Now you can kind of see this is an example of how the combo guard looks, but this is a really extreme measure, in my opinion. That whoever is on site, they're doing no maintenance. You'd see. This would all be cleaned up, but it does happen, as you guys all know. So, so this is sort of a comparison versus a bag, as our stuff is. So typical installation for a insert bag, which is the most commonly used in the United States, it typically takes 2 people. The risk of injury is very high because you're lifting the grate. Grates are moving around. Some grates, especially the older grates around the country, are really hard to get up. So a person couldn't just pick it up and move it. They have to come in with a forklift. So there's a lot of risk and injury that come into play. So what you'll notice that with the curb inlet guards, the grate guards, and the combo guards, you'll see that it's one person. The risk is extremely low, easy clean, easy inspection, easy maintenance, easy removal. So the bags, and 9 out of 10 times when you throw a bag in there, you don't know when it's full until it's flooding. And that's the worst. And then how do you get the bag out when it's full? A lot of times it's going to be extremely challenging because you might not have access to the forklift. You might not have access to the crane. You might not have access to those things. So it's a little late to the party. Next, we're talking about our grate guards, GR8 guard. This is for a flat grate. This is they're designed to be typically these are parking lots, side of the road, highways, real common. But you can also drive over these. So that's a real big bonus. Typical installation, as you see, is you'll see that there's rebar tie wire on all 4 corners. And then again, the adhesive on the edges, especially for the high traffic areas. We do get the air bursts that will, on the highways where the trucks drive by, vehicles drive by, it will burst a little bit, pop it up a little bit. The adhesive holds it down in place. And it does not move at that point. And you can see these in action. The top left is a typical example of just a county road. As the outer edge gets wet, it will hold down, which is nice. The picture on the far right, these are 2 large grates in a California highway. We just did these custom to fit. These are 60 by 60s. So they're custom. And then lower corner, you'll see obviously debris, everything in place there, but nothing going down. And the one on the left here, this was a field drain that a customer asked to try to test out, and it worked out perfect. We recommended another product, but they tried this and it has been super successful.
So you do a lot of post-construction application and industrial application of some of these products?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
More and more industrial as the time has progressed here. The industrial sites have become a lot more under the microscope. And so we're in the process of incorporating a oil absorbent product, an attachment to all of our inlet protection products.
Do you have anything that sequesters metals?
That's what we're working on. Metals is a challenge. Metals
Okay.
is definitely
I have a site, an industrial site that is in need of something like this on the outside because it's incredibly old infrastructure. So there's no room for anything under the grate.
Okay.
That's regarding that.
Yeah, I think there's some Graham Packaging sites in Georgia, and Graham Packaging is using our inlet protection across all their properties around the United States. And there's a few in Georgia that have placed orders, and they've used them and they've worked out great on their industrial sites. Here's an example of all the different sizes that we have available. Like I said, our combo guards, we can go 28 by 22 all the way to 48 by 30. The gray guard, the flat one, can go all the way from 12 by 12 to 48 by 48, which is our standard, but we can do custom for customers. That's what's, we can do these. And these are all available in black as well. The standard ones are orange, but for our gray guards, we've had a situation where there's a lot more office buildings, business parks have requested these to be used in their parking lots, and they would prefer not to use orange to look like a construction site. They'd rather have it just blend a little bit. So just something to keep in mind there.
Joe, you have two quick questions before you move on.
Okay.
Is there additional cost associated with making more holes?
No.
And then, are there any leachable plastics in the recycled content in your combo guard?
Say that one more time.
Are there any leachable plastics in the recycled content in the combo guard?
No.
Okay. Here's one more. Is there a cost difference for orange or black guards?
No.
Okay.
There's a time window. It typically takes us an extra 48 hours to do the black, because obviously our production is orange, and so it just takes a little time to pull people off those orange ones and move them over to black. But no, there's no extra cost at all. Okay, so let's move on. This is another product of ours. It's called our drop guard. Our drop guard is designed for field inlets, unpaved field inlets. Most unpaved field inlets will have a concrete curb around them. This is designed in place of silt fence. A lot of times people will use, they'll just put down silt fence around it. We've all experienced the problems with silt fence where a little wind picks up, a little tree, something falls on it, and now they're down on the ground and it's not really doing its job. With our drop inlet guard, what we can do is you're able to wood stake it down. And one thing that's nice is that you're going to have the air and the wind, the air and the water flow through our device as opposed to knock it over. And here they are as an example. Up here on the left, you'll see that there's a concrete pad around the grate, and we just butt this right up against it all the way around. These come in 7-foot lengths, and they can overlap, and we have various heights, so you can do a couple different from 10 to 14 inches. So we typically just say 10 because that's about all you need, because you're only trenching down about 2 inches, so not too much.
Have all these products been approved as alternative BMPs in the state of Georgia?
Not in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, the state of Georgia's situation is that we have to have our products on a plan, on an upcoming project prior to construction. Once it's on construction and it's on the plans, Georgia Soil and Water Commission will go out and review it and test it on site. Typically, in every surrounding state, it's been submitted. We have conditional approvals in various states in your community, your neck of the woods. I'm out here in California. All of our products are approved with the California Department of Transportation. We have Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia. But yes, they're all in the process, put it that way. So if anybody knows an engineering firm that would like to help me with this, I'd love to connect with you guys. The other one that this product here is our slot guard. This is designed for slot drains. This has become extremely popular because there's not a whole lot of other alternatives out there for slot drains in construction projects. We noticed that a lot of airport projects are speccing Ertx slot guard for runways. When they're redoing the runways, they have nothing else to cover it. Filter fabric, when they put that down, just gets destroyed and it falls apart. This 84 inches by 6 is our standard. But again, you'll see that it goes all the way to 20 inches wide. Really easy to install. rebar tie wire right through it, hold it down. It can be driven over. So we, for example, on airports in front of the hangars, there's always going to be a slot drain. And so they'll be able to put the slot guard down during construction and the planes can actually drive over it. Now, here are a couple examples of where you'd find the slot drains. Looks like the one on the far left, upper left, looks like a Lowe's construction site. That's in their parking lot. That was used for, they would use the slot guard there. This looks like it is in a residential property. But over on the right, you'll see how it's done with a highway project. Two big grates here, and this is a slot drain here, and they needed to cover that. Again, it's a reusable product. So what a lot of contractors are doing is they're using it, they're ordering just a little bit at a time where they're doing the work. Once the work is done, they'll pick it up and they'll move it down to the next part of the project. Now this project specifically here required a gravel bag berm. Now, it would have been 800 feet of gravel bag berm, and they opted to go with this as opposed to the gravel bag berm because of the maintenance. Now, with the gravel bags, one vehicle hits a couple of them, there's gravel all over the place. Contractor has to come out. It's typically at night, after hours. Now you're spending money on that, and you don't need to do that when you can use the slot guard and you avoid that problem. These are some of the other applications. This one up here is a standard loading dock. They always have the slot drains at the bottom, and 9 out of 10 times, the people that call me from these types of applications, because they're full of garbage and they're full of debris and sediment, and they're flooded, and it's a mess, and so they want to come up with some better solution. You'll see here, this is a active construction site. Another highway project. I have contractors that have used these for 5 to 6 years. And that is it. Are there any other questions or concerns?
Hey, Joe, this is Javier Sayago with City of Conyers. I was wondering how many people here in Georgia are using these devices and how they are handling the clay, the Georgia red clay.
So there was a home builder that was using it, and they were using our curb inlet guards, and they were told to stop using it because it wasn't approved. But the red clay, obviously that's a major factor in Georgia, and you guys are well aware of it and more knowledgeable than I am. The contractor on site, they had a maintenance crew that would go through at the end of every day. They would clean them up. They would take a flat shovel and they would clean off every curb inlet guard on site. Because the red clay will blind up pretty much anything. It hardens up really good, but it's push broom, rake, flat shovel, and that's all you need to clean these up.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. And if there are no more questions.
Do you have a product that you would recommend to intercept sheet flow in a paved area that might get run over?
Our grate guard is probably the best for the flat grates, especially for.
Well, this would be kind of a perimeter control that would sit on concrete. We've got a paper recycling facility that is older infrastructure, and they sometimes have some pretty high solid rates leaving, and we need something to intercept in a sheet flow situation by a drive.
Okay, so would people be driving over it?
I would assume that would happen eventually. I mean, they can avoid it, but it'd probably get edged up on by tires and such.
Got it. So we have what's called the hard surface guard, and that's in lieu of a straw wattle. It does have the flow through, so it does have a filter. Let's see if I can pull this up for you guys here.
Just thinking that being able to glue things down would be really helpful in some of these industrial situations.
Yeah, and it so would it be a permanent or a temporary?
It would be a permanent BMP that could be, replaced periodically as part of their industrial NPDES permit.
Got it. Okay. So let me see if I can pull this up for you guys here. This is our hard surface guard. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So this is used, like I said, typically this will be used for a stockpile, but it can also be used on a permanent situation. We have a lot of the waste management sites here in California, Arizona, and in Nevada. They're using this as a permanent installation, permanent BMP. You'll see on this one here, they've actually put in nails, concrete nails, and they don't have to replace it as much as opposed to the straw wattle. And I can always, send you guys out some samples if anybody's looking at something like this. But this is a great alternative to a straw wattle. It still allows the water to flow through while keeping all the debris, any sediment on the out of your yard, especially in industrial sites. Okay.
I'm gonna message you my email if you could send me some
Sure.
information on that product. Thank you.
Okay, that'd be great. And that's Ashley?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All righty, so let's do this. I appreciate everybody's time. If there are no more questions, I'm going to set this up as on a loop. And I hope everybody has a great day.
Joe, you're still available for questions, correct?
I'll be available for questions for a half hour.
Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you mentioned that your GR8 guard are load rated.
Yes.
Okay. What type of loads? I know you showed them on the side of a highway. They're rated for even tractor trailer loads.
Yes. The only challenge we face sometimes is there'll be a situation where there might be a grate where heavy traffic, especially larger dump trucks or heavy vehicles, will be turning. So if their wheels happen to be turning right on it, that sometimes is a little bit of a challenge for us. But there was a pretty major project in Arizona, and they used our grate guards right outside of the yard where they all of their material was loading, and so they were driving over them nonstop. We had no problem with that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just that point where the wheel is kind of turning. It kind of spins them out a little bit. Like I like to tell people that we have a solution for 99.9% of the grates and curb openings in this country, except every now and again we come across some scenarios where it's just best to use something else.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks, Joe.
Sure. You guys are on the East Coast, and I had to get up bright and early this morning, so I wanted to be first in line.
Can you provide your direct email?
Yeah. Let's see. Not that one. So here's all my contact information. I can go all the way to the, might be easier the last one. So if anybody has any questions or they'd like any information sent to them or samples or anything like that, I can shoot that over to you. So what's everybody using now for recommended inlet protection? Is anybody-
I didn't quite get that email address.
Oh, okay. Ashley, what is your email address?
It's A Taylor. And I did direct message it via the chat.
Oh, you did? Okay, so let me check. Let me make sure I get there here. Ah, got it. Okay.
And I'm most interested in the Grate Guards and that last product, that perimeter product
Okay, the hard surface
for
guard.
an industrial application. So if you could just shoot me an email, I'll be in touch regarding that.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So it doesn't sound like there's going to be any more questions. So if you want to, we could conclude the presentation.
Hey, Joe, this is Glenn.
Yeah.
I just joined your vendor room from being at another one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get I see your email address there. Wanted to see about maybe getting a small sample of your product or something that could pass around during training students.
Sure.
Train about 1,000+ students a year. Might be, they like to see and touch things.
Sure, of course. And then Glenn, do you mind shooting me a message? Let's see, with your contact information, and then I'll shoot you an email, and then I can get your address and everything.
Yeah. Do you want me just to shoot you an email directly?
Yeah, that'd be great if you don't mind doing that.
Yeah. I was just typing in, trying to get your email. Let's see it there.
Yeah, because what I can do is I can get some samples out to you guys. What sort of business are you guys in?
We do environmental consulting, and I've been trainer since 2007. So that's one of the services that we provide is training, erosion control training.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Well, we do erosion sediment plans and soil studies and other environmental services too. Ertx systems.
Hey, Joe, since we
Yes.
have a couple of new people coming in from other vendor rooms,
Okay.
maybe you could give a brief introduction to your products.
Sure. Okay. Let me get rid of this one. Let me get back to.
We have about 20 minutes left.
Okay. For those new people entering the room, thank you very much for stopping by. My name is Joe Sherratt. I am the National Sales Manager for Ertec Environmental Systems Top Guard, which is our drain inlet protection products. Ertec Environmental Systems is based in Northern California. We are a manufacturer of erosion and sediment control products. We are the alternative to the traditional straw wattle, silt fence. All of our products are reusable. We have everything from our pro wattle, which is an alternative to straw wattles. We have a S fence, which is an alternative to your silt fence. We also have all of our above ground inlet protection, which is what you're seeing here. And we also do some quite a bit of the wildlife fencing, either to keep the species inside the project or outside of the project. So that is becoming more and more important around the country with so much going on. So I'll run through this for the new people. This is all of our drain inlet protection. All of our inlet protection is above ground. Show of hands, who's tried to pick up a flat grate by themselves? It's not the easiest thing to do. So we'll kind of roll through this. Let's make sure I get it back in there. How come we're not? Okay. Why are we doing the loop one? So we have a variety of, let me get onto the other screen here. This one's, that's the better one. Variety of, So we have a variety of different applications, everything from a flat grate to a combination of grate and curb opening. Slot drain, always a interesting one to try to cover that. We're back onto the loop, I apologize. This is our curb opening. This is our curb inlet guard, 75 inches long, 6 inches tall. What we have is we've got some pins that will hold on top. They adjust based upon the height of the curb. Standard installation is going to be with gravel bags. A lot more people are using adhesive in place of the gravel bag because of the challenges that are faced with the gravel bags, getting run over and damaged. Now we move on to our combo guards, which would be a grate and curb opening. In some parts of the country, the curb opening is much bigger. So we have our bypass holes here. We have our filter, as you can see the dark sections here. Our bypass is also here. Installation is going to be with 2 gravel bags. Here's an example of a completely messy one, but again, it will be very easy to clean for one person. One person will be able to roll through there with a flat shovel or a broom and clean all of this up, and you will not have to lift up a grate once. Some of the challenges that you face with a traditional bag, typically it's like 2 people. Risk is very high. Reusability factor is very low. All of our products are reusable, so you'll be able to reuse all of these. Here's our grate guard, flat grates, variety of different sizes available. Typical installation is going to be your rebar tie wire, all 4 corners. In high traffic, high flow areas, we like to use adhesive to hold it down a little bit better. We do get some air bursts, especially on the sides of highways. As you can see, there's a variety of sizes that are available. We can also do custom, and we can also do these in black. And some of the business parks, they would prefer black. This is our drop inlet. So this is designed for a field unpaved inlet. These come in 7-foot lengths, everything from 10 inches to 14 inches tall. Typical installation is going to be trenched down no more than 2 inches. And as you see, it's much more durable than a silt fence, which is a real common installation for this type of application, because it's just going to come tumbling down for various reasons, but they'll hold up. This is our slot drain, which is designed for any type of parking lot, loading dock, very common in industrial sites. Here's a couple applications. This was a Lowe's construction store parking lot. This is a residential. Not too many of these are needed. This is a perfect example of a highway project. Here's our loading dock that's always getting flooded. And now what they'll be able to do here is collect all the debris, all the sediment, everything there. They'll be able to pull that off, and then the water will flow and that will not flood. And that is it. Let me get back to the regular one. Are there any new questions that might be out there?
This is Glenn, I've got one.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys have to get on an approved products list, or these products exempted from that, or how does that work?
So in the state of Georgia, the process goes as is that to get approved, to be reviewed, the products need to be on the plans of an upcoming project. Once their products are on the plans of an upcoming project, we will then send the product out to the site. The site will be they'll be installed. The Georgia Soil and Water Commission will then send a team to review the project and make sure that they're doing their job. Now I've reached out to, we've had a couple home builders that use them. They worked great. They just were not approved. Like I said earlier, the Georgia Graham packaging, there's a couple Graham packaging sites that have used our Grate Guards. That's a private situation there, so they're able to use those. But yeah, I mean, we're in the process. I've reached out to a couple engineering firms to see if they'll, civil engineering firms that will test out our stuff. Years past, we've had our slot guard has been spec'd into some runway projects, but that was a couple years ago, so we can't really refer back to those now. But we're in the process of getting them submitted as well.
Yeah, I've been through that approval process. It's not typically a short process.
Yeah. So we've I've submitted. Let's see, in the state of Florida, they don't have a spec. Just the contractor needs to use something. It's interesting to talk to different states and different agencies to kind of see what their processes are. In California, it takes forever, but we got everything approved in California. So it definitely is it's a challenge, but Jennifer and her team are being very patient and supportive. So hopefully we'll get the stuff across the finish line here soon.
Just a little follow-up on that. So you've got to go from the NOI process through the NOT process. Are you close to completing, finishing up on the NOT process for that? Are you guys close, or you still got a ways to go?
I still have a ways to go. I have to find an engineering firm that is that's willing to put our products on the project, on the specs. And I've reached out to a couple engineering firms, and their feedback is always, well, we won't really do that until it's approved. And so, we're working with them, and I currently have some leads on a couple different engineering firms. Kimberly Horn is supportive so far. And then I also work with a gentleman in your neck of the woods. Everybody probably knows him, Dr. Jim Spots. He's been very supportive of us, and he's willing to help me out with boots on the ground, with installation and maintenance and photos and whatnot. So if I can secure something, then he's going to be my liaison in the state of Georgia. He's definitely helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if nobody else has anything, I'm going to let you guys go. And I hope you guys have an awesome day.